Okay, so I'm going to see if I can duplicate the overstretching issue from just static loading. So this is a 10-inch jumbo spring, and okay, so right now the spring, 10-inch spring, is stretched by hanging from this chain, and it's got about 30 pounds or so on here, and it's stretched out to 14 and a half inches. This is the exact same stretch that is on the String Bed Performance trampoline. So what I'm going to do is let this sit on here for a couple hours and then take it off and see if the spring returns to its normal condition and has the same spring constant. In other words, the tension as everything is still the same, not been deteriorated by just being stretched out. So it is about 11 o'clock in the morning, and we'll just leave it on here till about 1. Okay, fine, thanks. So after almost 2 hours, I took the 25-pound load off of this spring, which is believed to be spring B, and it came back to its original shape. No coil damage, about 10 inches. Was stretched out to 14 and a half for an hour and a half. Came back to 10 inches. It still feels totally new, so I'm sure the spring characteristics, the spring constant, is the same. So I'm going to increase the weight up to about 63 pounds. I'll put the load on 63 pounds and let it hang for another hour and a half, 2 hours. Okay, so just increase the load, the weight here, up to 63 pounds. The spring is stretched out from tip to this dip 20 inches. So 20 inches, 63 pounds. Time is almost 12 o'clock, 10 to 12. So I'll let it hang here for a good hour and a half and see if it loses its shape. Check in about an hour and a half. Okay, so now it's 4 o'clock. This spring has been hung with 63 pounds for, I think it's like 3 hours. Anyway, so the distance is still 20 inches. It never changed from that over the time period. 20 inches, in other words, started out at 10, and with 64 pounds it doubled to 20. So I'm going to take the load off and see if the spring is still good, and then we'll do the dynamic test on the spring. See if we get the same results we did last night. So took the weights off, and the spring came back to the original shape and condition. It still feels like new when you pull on it or bend it. Coils are all back tight, so the weight of 63 pounds hanging for hours, 3 or 4 hours, didn't have any effect on the quality of the spring. So let's do the dynamic test and see what happens. Okay, so here's the dynamic test part of the experiment. So what we're going to do is try to get the spring going up and down, where it's going to go from 20 inches down to at least 30. And so let's see if that damages the spring permanently. Oh well, keep it going. It starts swinging, unfortunately. Hard to keep it going up and down straight, but let's see if we can stop it. So what we'll do is we'll stop it and see if it comes back to 20 inches in length. So then we'll do some more tests, dynamic tests, overstretching tests. So let's go measure it. So that pretty much, after the dynamic test, the spring did not come back to its original shape at 20 inches. I found a way to tether the tape in place so you you can actually see what's going on here. So this used to read 20 inches right down to here, and now it's at 22 and a half with the same weight on the spring. So and you can kind of tell by physically looking at the spring coils, it's toast. So I'm going to unhook the weights, and I'm pretty sure the coils will not come back to its original shape. So that last test the net dynamic test that exceeded 30 inches in stretch did exceed the elastic limit or the yield limit. Spring is permanently damaged. So it's just more evidence that we need a spring that's going to be stretched out to about twice its original length, from 10 to up to 30, and being able to return to its original condition without damage. Okay. Okay, so this is the spring after testing, static and dynamic testing, and the spring did come back to about 10 and a half inches overall length. That's from hook to hook, outside hook to outside hook. So it's close to its original length, but the coils are not severely damaged, but the spring has no strength anymore. You can pull on it, and let's see if I can pull on it. It's just really floppy and has no tension to it at all. So it's pretty much useless. So no good.